baby.
You're listening to the Brawlers Sports Boxing Show podcast, starring CEO Rick Muhammad and G Money. The Brawlers Sports Boxing Show podcast.
Yo, what's up, boxing fans? It's your boy Rick Muhammad, Brawler Sports Media in the building. This is the Brawler Sports Media Boxing Show. What a weekend in boxing. As y'all know, Brawlers had a hell of a weekend. What a blast I had out in St. Thomas, Virgin Islands with my man, Super Zab Judah. I'm going to tell you all about that weekend and why we were there and how this whole thing came about that Zab wanted to do with the concept of guns down, gloves on, if you will. But first, let's start off with Top Ranks event at State Farm Arena in Atlanta this past weekend. The fight highly anticipated. Everybody wanted to see. Jamal Herring, the WBO lightweight champion of the world, took on Shakur Stevenson. As y'all know, he won the silver medal in 2016 in Rio. Been a prominent prospect since he turned pro. And most feel like he's going to be like the future of boxing. I feel like he's the future of boxing. Man, let's go ahead and dissect this fight. Shakur Stevenson, first and foremost, is on a whole nother level than any of these other fighters in any other weight division. You know what I mean? This kid is different. His boxing IQ, his style of fight, his skill sets, everything sets him apart from everything else and everybody else in boxing. He's in his own world here, and this guy is gonna do a takeover at 130 pounds. He's gonna unify. You know, he beat Jamal Herring impressively. He dominated that whole fight, touched him up, bruised him up, cut him up, bloodied him up. What else can you say? He had his way with Jamal Herring from the bell, and I mean, you know, and Jamal Herring, he's tough. He's a people's champion. He came out, fought with a lot of heart, like a world champ should. We all knew that. He comes in shape. He always has a great camp with Brian Bomack, who is also Bud Crawford's head trainer down there in Nebraska and Triple Threat in Colorado Springs. And Jamal Herring, take nothing away from him. Hey, much respect to Jamal Herring, Team Herring. He did his thing. But like he said, no excuses. Tonight, Shakur was the better man. His IQ was on point. And, you know, he dominated. He did what he had to do. And he stopped Jamal Herring in the 10th round and took his WBO junior lightweight title from him. And now the first name that comes out of his mouth, which we all expected, would be Oscar Valdez. So Shakur Stevenson saying, hey, you can run, but you can't hide, and you got to fight now. So no more running. Let's go ahead and get this over with. Let's unify this 130-pound weight class division. Let me go ahead and take your strap so I can keep it moving, and I can see him going up to 135 as well. Shakur's still young. He's still growing. He could probably get up to 140. I would probably say junior welter. He'll be great at 140. But get the 130-pound division out of the way. Go up to 135. Let's see a tank Shakur Stevenson. You know, definitely want to see him and Valdez first. Man, there's a lot of great fights out there to be made at that 135 mark. So, yeah, big props to Shakur Stevenson. Congratulations, champ. Team Stevenson, great job. Hey, that was an awesome fight. Awesome weekend. Also on top of that card, Alexander Zaya continues to be undefeated. This fight just this year, he stopped his guy in the 4th round. Also with we had Nico Ali Walsh, the grandson of the GOAT, the one and only Muhammad Ali's grandson. Nico Ali Walsh stopped his guy in the 3rd fight, in his 2nd pro fight, if you will. Just some great fights. Hey, big props to my homeboy, Antoine Cobb out of Chicago. Chicago stand up. His pro debut. He only needed 58 seconds to win his pro debut, and he stops his guy with a good overhand right hand and stopped his kid. So hey, big props to Antoine Cobb. He's going to be the future up and coming out of Chicago. Hey, congratulations, champ. And moving right along, hey, as you all know, I, myself, Brawler Sports Media, Rick Muhammad, was in St. Thomas, Virgin Islands this past weekend with my man, former welterweight champion of the world, Zab Super Judah, 6-time world champion, two-time weight divisional champ, stellar amateur career, Hall of Famer. What can I say? He has come up with the concept. He is now wearing the hat of a promoter. Him and his wife, the beautiful Miss Dee Dee, and Super Zab, has this concept now, guns down, gloves on. Guns down, gloves on, meaning, hey, let's stop killing one another. If you got a beef with somebody and you want to take it to the street, old school style, but we're going to put it in the ring, put the gloves on you, sign you up, and we're going to get you on what's called Celebrity Championship Boxing. That's the name of the company, Celebrity Championship Boxing, also aka known as CCB. Super Zab Judah had a card of all kind of fighters. Some was from Harlem, some was from Brooklyn, some female was from Miami. We had a hell of a fight, and as y'all know, the main event, former Chicago Black Ink crew member Van Johnson took on my man Tay Reigns, Gorilla Season, as the main event in the heavyweight division. But we had some really good fights here. Hawk took on Babyface. That was a great fight at 130 pounds. Hawk won that fight. Let's see who else. Chica, the female. Chica and Kiki. Chica was just too much. She came out. She stayed on top of Kiki, pressing Kiki. Kiki was from Miami. She fought gallantly, though. She wouldn't give up. Tough fight for her. And Chica was just much taller. Tall, stood long and had long arms, long reach. So she kept Miss Kiki at bay with a nice jab and a volley of punches. Bunches of punches wins fights. And that's just what Chica did to win that fight. We also had Lord R Money versus a guy named Chico at 150 pounds. By the way, the females fought at 140. We had a young kid named Brizo. This young brother was amazing. Never had an amateur fight. No amateur book. Nothing recorded. Nothing. Never laced up gloves for competition for a L or a W until this past weekend. We got talent. All he got to do is keep working with his trainers. He going to be nice. And he fought a much bigger guy. They fought at 130, but his guy was like 5'8", and he's only 5'6", 20 years old, young kid. His opponent was Yossi, Brizo versus Yossi. Yossi was 24 years old. And, of course, Yossi was polished. He had some fights, He's been in the ring before. But Brizo, young brother out of Brooklyn, he did his thing. And I see potential in him. He will prevail from that loss. That was a learning curve for him. But he's definitely got the package. All he got to do is be taught some defense, catch and roll, catch and shoot punches, He had a decent little jab. Learn how to turn his punches over more so they'll have more appeal to him and be more of a technician in there. But he did a hell of a job. That was a good fight. Then we have my man Kid Vicious took on Dream Killer. Kid Vicious was from Queens and Dream Killer was from Harlem. Dream Killer was doing a lot of talking but not much throwing his hands. And, they ended up fighting an extra. Well, we tried to get them to fight extra round. And Dream Killer wasn't for it. So, hey, the fight went to Kid Vicious, and Dream Killer, got a little peeved about it and displayed some unprofessional sportsmanlike conduct. But hey, it's boxing. It happens. The adrenaline's there, emotions are there, and it's expected. And then we had the main event. Well, now we had guns down, gloves up. One of the representatives fought versus my man Two Raw Cut, and Two Raw Cut ended up taking that fight. And I believe he was from Cleveland. So we had a lot of Cincinnati boys, had a lot of Cleveland guys in the building. Hey, Ohio was represented too. Main event, Chicago's own Van Johnson, former Chicago Ink crew member, if you will, took on Gorilla Season, my man Tay Reigns. Man, that was two big guys in the ring. It started out, Van knocked Tay Reigns down, not once, but twice. But there wasn't really clean shots that really sent my man Reigns to the canvas from a clean, hard shot. His legs just wasn't underneath him. You know how you get that adrenaline? You're so nervous. And this was both of these guys' first time ever competing in the ring. So Tay said after I rapped with him after the fight, he's like, man, my legs was just like rubber and wobbly. And when he knocked me down, I was like, oh, hell. And then he knocked him down again. He's like, oh, hell. And then he got up. Once he put his punches together And you could tell that he had been working on skills and actually developing his punches and how boxing is supposed to go. He went to the body beautifully. You could hear it just splat. And then he caught him with a left hook and a right hand and sent Van cringing down on both his knees. And Super Zab Judah jumped in to stop it, which his pops was refereeing, the pronounced legendary trainer, Yoel Judah. Yoel was like, I had it. But, Super, like, yeah, he's not letting nobody get hurt, not on his block. So he made a good judgment call jumping up in there and not letting Van Johnson continue. But Van was really, really hurt. He was hurt even after the commentator had got on and, started talking to Tay Reigns about his victory and his win. Van was still down on his knees. So he was really, really hurt. And he should have been, because, dude, if you see Gorilla Season, my man Tay Reigns is cop diesel strong. And, man, he put some leather on my man Van Johnson. But, hey, it was a great weekend in the Virgin Islands. St. Thomas was beautiful. Not a lot open, not a lot to do. As you all know, they got hit with double back-to-back hurricanes in the last 2 years. And then last year, the pandemic hit. That kind of put the dagger in them. Seems like the government and funding isn't there to, get them back up to par where they may have once been. Because, they used to depend on their money. It's a tourism place, so a lot of cruise ships come in there, and you got all the vendors out and the food people catering to the tourists, if you will. A lot of that wasn't happening this time, although there was one cruise liner there while I was there, but I doubt very serious. Once they got off the boat once and walked around and saw nothing was really happening on the island, I'm sure they all went back on their boat and entertained themselves, which they have plenty to do on those cruise liners. Other than that, it was a great event. My man Super Zab Judah wearing his promoter's hat, celebrity championship boxing. His beautiful wife, Miss Dee Dee, had his back. The entire staff with Zab and celebrity championship boxing, they did a wonderful job putting that all together. It was organized and everything just, in sync. One event after the next. The day of the event, earlier that day, like from 11 to about 3, there was a beach party. We all went off site to a nice beach. They had drinks. They were making drinks and cooking, and so it was an experience. I wish there was more to do and see of the island, but for the most part, it was awesome. It was awesome. Can't wait to see what they do next, or if they're gonna make Virgin Islands, St. Thomas, their home now, because the commissioner there, my man Calvin, he's requesting promoters and fights come to the Virgin Islands, come to St. Thomas. We had the event at the University of Virgin Islands there in the gymnasium. It was set up real nice and bright, chairs and everything, bleachers, centering, if you will. So yeah, if you're out there, you want to throw on a show, get with the St. Thomas Boxing Commission. He's all for it. He is all for it. So that being said, where are we now? We're coming up on Terrence Bud Crawford versus Showtime Sean Porter. That's approaching us fast. November 20th, Mandalay Bay in Las Vegas. And man, the stakes are high. Bud is going to definitely show people why he is the pound for pound, and why when they speak his name, they should list him as pound for pound best fighter in the world. And he plans on showing everybody, all the doubters that are saying, hey, well, your resume isn't this, your resume isn't that, you haven't fought anybody, blah, blah, blah. Not his fault. He spoke on this at the press conference introducing this fight at the Wilder Fury Trilogy. They had an official press conference there, and he was like, hey, if this wasn't on me, I called everybody I could think of that had belts or top contenders there at 147. I've been calling out Spence, called out Pacquiao, and hey, so he's like, this wasn't on me. I fight anybody. I only want to fight the best. So we feel that this is a good test. It is a good test. Showtime Sean Porter always comes in shape. He's a beast in the ring. He's going to put a lot of pressure on Bud that any other opponent that he's faced thus far has been able to do and have any success with even becoming close to win. The only fight I can think of who really touched him up is Postal. Postal clocked him with a right hand. And, sometimes there's such thing you might hear, fighters get up for certain fights, and they fall asleep in these fights that's boring them. It's not a real big fight to them. It's not the fight they wanted, but it's the fight they got. And then they get in there, they get hit with something, and you snap out of it like, what the hell? This dude is underneath me. He's not even supposed to be on this platform, on this level with me right now. Let me go in and dust him off. And he did that with Postal. So sometimes, they don't, if it ain't the fight they want, they're not really up to it in the ring. They kind of, you got to fall asleep in those fights. You get a little bored. You really do. That being said, my money is on Bud Crawford. I really believe Bud is going to shut all the doubters up, and he's going to pick up a lot of brand new fans after this fight, because I believe he's going to win in that bigger fashion. Not saying he's going to blow Sean Porter out. It'll be interesting to see how he adapts and make adjustments, which he's great. He's phenomenal at doing that, and he will. So you just got to give him a little time in there. But I don't see this fight going nowhere near 7 to 10 rounds. I really believe Bud has what it takes to possibly give Sean Porter his first stoppage. And I could be wrong. That's my own personal opinion. So don't y'all beat me up on this, because I want to hear yours. What else we got after that? We got Caleb Plant versus Canelo. Even though with all the insinuations and the pets testing positive performance enhancing drugs that Canelo has been cited, saying that he does. Even with that being said, and he said he will not take testing via Avado. I'm sorry, no random urinalysis, no blood testing, nothing. It's like whatever Canelo says, go. Take it or leave it. This is what's on the table. You want to make your biggest paycheck ever, Caleb? Then hey, get testing out of your mind. And I'm sure Caleb is probably bidded at $20 million for this fight, and they probably gave him 15 because the going market rate, based on what Danny Jacobs got, was $12 million to fight Canelo. So I'm sure that somewhere in between 15, not quite the whole 20, but Caleb's probably either getting 15 to 18 million for this fight easily. So he probably like, hey, okay, but hey, once you sign those papers and you say I do not omit to having to take the blood test or the urinalysis, then hey, that's it. That fight is going to happen. What is that fight? The fight's in December. And hey, it is what it is. A lot of people feel like Caleb Plant has the package and all the goods to beat Canelo and give him his first loss. He's an exceptional boxer, no doubt. Had a hell of an amateur career, no doubt. He ain't never been hit by nobody like Canelo in the body or on your chin. So he hasn't been really battle tested yet. And that is my personal opinion as well. So that's what I say about that. And there probably was a lot of doubters about my man Shakur Stevenson. Gotta give him his props. Hey, kid is the truth, and he will be one of the greats in the book of records and go down in history for many years to come. We'll be talking about that kid forever. He is different. But yeah, Canelo, Caleb Plant, we'll close out the year with that show. And yeah, that's where we are in boxing. So we got Shakur Stevenson is the new WBO lightweight champion of the world. Next stop supposedly is going to be Oscar Valdez. I'm sure top ranked, and Shakur Stevenson's team and Valdez's team are speaking to one another right now, possibly trying to put this fight together. As early as I'd probably say February, March, going into the spring 2022. So that fight should start us off in the new year. We got Bud versus Porter coming up here, and then we got Caleb Plant taking on my man Canelo Alvarez in December to close us out. And then to top it all off, Brawlers had a wonderful time. I want to thank personally my man Zab Super Judah and his wife Miss Dee for giving me the invite and the tap to come out there and cover the event and be part of the media there. They had a nice red carpet set up on the night of the event. That was nice backdrops, if you will, and we did our thing. I interviewed my man Caesar. Everything's on my Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, Facebook page. Caesar Emmanuel. CEO of Black Ink New York. He was there representing. The lovely Mrs. Kitty from New York Black Ink was there representing. I mean, we had a bunch of folks. There, man. There was a bunch of folks there. We was hoping that my man Ryan Henry from the Chi, CEO of Chicago Black Ink, would have popped up, and supported his man Van Johnson. Even though they had that falling out at one point or another there, I heard they did make up and squash their differences. So that's how you do it when you're in the Goodfellas Club, to be commendable and do that. So yeah, but it was a hell of an event. Virgin Islands, St. Thomas. Hey, I definitely would go back, and hopefully if they do it again, hey, I can see them opening up more things to do. Yeah, but my man Calvin White, that's the commissioner out there in St. Thomas. And if you're going to do some shows out there, you're a promoter, get a hold of them and do your thing. But don't have a really super long show today. My host, my co-host, my son G Money, he wasn't able to make it today. He had some other stuff going on, so I'm carrying the torch as I always do. But that's it for now, guys. If you have anything you want to share with us, any comments about today's show, this past weekend's fights, hey, send us a message on YouTube, send us a message on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, doesn't matter. We respond. You're not just out there in space. If you send me something, asking me something, I always respond to all of our viewers. So just so you know. All right. That concludes our show today. It's your boy Rick Muhammad, Brawler Sports Media in the building. Till next time. Let's go, champ.
Brawlers, baby.